Great. Good evening. It's a Tuesday night. It's our Tuesday nights. It's the coaching hour with Boitumelo Tlholakae. I am very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be with you. It's our date nights and it's going to be very nice. I've got a coach with me. You've seen him before, but I tell you, he's bringing a lot more than what he brought last time because we featured him with another coach on the show. I hope that you're going to enjoy him, and I hope that you will bring your notebooks and your pens and you're going to take notes. We are here to learn. We are here to receive from those who know, those who have walked the path before. So do not take it for granted. Bring your pens, bring your snack, bring your juice, bring your water. Let's sit here. Don't do anything else but write, and listen more. Coach, welcome.
Thank you, Coach Boitumelo.
I'm so happy to have you with us tonight, and I know you carry so much with you, and you have so much to offload to us. But this week, I just want us to just introduce you to our listeners and say, who is Coach Comfort Hlatshwayo? Where does it come from? We want to know you up and close, up and personal, you know. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from. You know, what should we know about you?
All right. Thank you for this great opportunity once again. Well, I was born in Mpumalanga, but I grew up in Soshanguve, Pretoria. That's where I've grown and stayed for some years. Started tertiary life at Pretoria and Pretoria Tech. Then further my career accordingly. So I studied industrial engineering as a career. And yeah, so I'm a passionate industrial engineer. I'm a coach as well in terms of, coaching, training people and leaders in terms of productivity, solutions, orientation. And I think what else I'm trying to navigate in terms of a summary of myself. So yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a number of projects. As an entrepreneur, I'll share more as we proceed in our journey. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a coach. I empower solution leaders. I believe in solutions. I think one of the things that I believe in is that I believe in solutions. I believe in empowering people, and I believe in bringing change in people's lives. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach. Wow, what an introduction. I also want to know, who are you known for? Or as in the community that you live in. I'm sure, comfort has been changed so many times, and, there's been some batanyana there, there's been some ingredients in too,
Yeah.
Where else are you known, and what are you known for?
I'm known for a number of things. Some people know me as someone who can minister the word. Some have known me as a photographer, because I ran a photography business as well. Some people know me, mostly people know me as a very strong coach, someone who coaches people and guides them. So throughout my life, I've been a very good coach, teacher. Very strict a bit, but yeah, that's people have known me for those elements.
Wow. My coach, I tell you, I had one surprise there in that introduction. I didn't know that you were a preacher of the words.
Once in a while.
That explains it, eh? You are deep in everything that you teach. I listened to you last time when Coach Oscar Tefu was with us for a 4-week program. And it explains it all now. And I'm quite comfortable with that in actual fact, because I know people that preach, so often have a way of expressing themselves and simplifying information. So these are people that deal with, information that goes to people, and you are mindful of who you're talking to, because it's not everyone that can understand all the bombastic words that we come up with, and say.
Mm-hmm.
I love simple communication. So I don't know. I'm quite thrilled actually that you are such a communicator.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we also heard from your last interaction with us on the show. We could pick up that you're a person that loves to teach, and you do it so well. So we look forward to the teaching today. And just to say to our listeners that you will be with us for the next 4 weeks, and we will be unpacking this entrepreneurship. We will be unpacking leadership. We will be unpacking so much information that is going to help them with their businesses. We want to, pick your brain on your corporate experience, your experience with working with entrepreneurs, and working with bringing solutions to the community, to the church, to everyone that needs, advice and, guidance. I am looking forward to that, and I hope that our listeners will join us each and every week up until your show is done. I know that I will learn a lot, and I hope that our listeners will also join in to learn a lot. Coach, I just want to go into the business of today. We want to talk about your coaching. Where did your coaching career start, and how did it start for you? Because most of the coaches have got motivation in terms of why they started coaching, and where, if you could remember, where it started for you. Because I remember with myself, it started a very long time ago, and I used to do this with my peers at home, and we would be, somebody would come to me with seeking advice. Somebody would say, what subject choices must I choose? I'm going to do matric. And, I'm battling with this, work-life balance. So that's when I decided, what, let me just formalize this, because I've been doing this for so many years. So your story, Coach, where did it start for you, and when did it start?
All right. Thank you very much for that. Look, for me, like I said before, that I'm an industrial engineer by profession. So my coaching journey really started from my first employment, as an employee working for Lear Corporation back in the days as a project engineer. Look, you'll understand that with my over 10 years experience in the corporate industry, from automotive, FMCG, consulting industry, you realize that with that vast of space of business being covered in the corporate space, one would understand that when you meet people every day, you always have a challenge. Because in my first encounter in terms of coaching is that my role as a project engineer was to help the team to deliver their results, to deliver and to become productive. And it was interesting for me, you looking at the people around me at the time, different styles of communication, different styles of getting the job done by different leaders, And it was quite interesting when I had to do a project and I had to get the people to move from one position to the next position. And look, it was quite challenging and interesting enough, to say, when I had a brilliant strategy from the boardroom or brilliant strategy from my desktop or laptop, when I had to implement that strategy on the shop floor, it was something else, it was something else in terms of the reality that I had on my laptop as a strategy, and the reality that I've experienced and encountered life on the shop floor. And that's when I realized that change doesn't happen by default, but change happens by design, and change happens by being intentional, and change happens when you communicate properly to bring the point across. So that's when I started to start talking and communicating with the people. So day one, I spoke to the guys, you must do this and this. Tomorrow I came back and I said, did you do it? No, all sorts of studies. And then tomorrow, did you do this? all sorts of stories and so forth. And then that's when I realized that sometimes we expect people to deliver results, but we don't necessarily provide them the necessary guidance. So for me, coaching started like that, to say, oh, I know that I need to achieve A, B, and C, but I realize that the people that I'm bringing the solution to, or the people who are responsible for the solution, that don't necessarily see the bigger picture. That's when my career started in terms of coaching, because I realized that you can get the job done by shouting, or you can get the job done by really taking people by the hand, coaching them step by step, so that you can achieve your ultimate results. So yeah, my coaching career started there, and then it grew from one level to the next. It grew from, coaching people at the shop floor level, coaching people at the middle management level, coaching people at the executive level in terms of results. Of course, there are different coaching models, which I will share as we go in our 4-week sessions, because you don't just coach. I mean, you hear people, they claim to be coaches and all of that, but you then come to realize that you're a coach, yes, but which model of coaching are you using to ensure that you deliver the relevant results? So my coaching started in the early years of my career, and over 10 years I've been a coach ever since, from corporate space, on the social space, entrepreneurial space, and that's what I do for a living. I'm a coach, trainer, mentor, solution expert, lean expert. That's what I do. Yeah.
Coach, did you do the lean model qualification? I forgot what they call it, but there's a school for lean solutions.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of training for lean management. When I joined Lear Corporation, so Lear Corporation they have their own institution where they train, managers and leaders in terms of lean manufacturing and lean enterprise. So I've done the trainings for lean from when I started, and I further did a number of projects, because remember, when you have lean has different tools. So lean is the methodology and a concept that has to do with identifying non-value adding activities and coming up with solutions to optimize the process to address those non-value adding activities, which is classified as waste, right? So within that concept, there's a number of tools that we deploy, whether it's tools for problem solving, it's tools to improve the system, it's tools to improve the manpower, it's tools to improve the facilities, tools to save cost, and so forth. So I've done a number of tools, and I'm certified as a green belt coach and so forth. So I've done green belt, your DMAC concept. I've done a number of Kaizen projects successfully. So I've implemented so many lean tools, which I can share. I hope some of the listeners will know some of the terminologies.
I hope you will prepare for us something simple, especially on the lean. This is quite an expensive course. I tried to get onto it myself, but I had to choose between lean and MBA. So I went for the MBA because I know that my retirement plan is actually to be a professor at some point and lecture and do training from home. So I had to choose one of them. But I am very excited that you have done the lean, and I hope that you will prepare something for us, but something very, very simple for our listeners. But I think, if you think, Coach, lean methods and lean tools being employed in an entrepreneurial environment, entrepreneurial space, and that our entrepreneurs will never actually, not never, but will not necessarily be able to put time aside or even to afford that kind of a course. Time alone, that course is quite time consuming, and it needs you to really, really focus on it because it requires very high standards and very high pass rate. I mean, 80%, no doubt it starts from 80% and nothing else. So you really need to focus on this. So I really want us to just fuse something in between the two and present it maybe on our third week or so?
All right, I can do that as
Thank
a bonus.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It will be such. It will be a blessing. It will be a bonus, honestly speaking, because I want to hear how you're going to prepare it and how you're going to actually present it. And I urge our listeners not to miss the third week of this show. It's we only have next week. That other week, I think it will be the week of 20th or so. Of June. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to it. I really, really want to pick your brain on that one, Coach. But let's get back to the business. I want us to talk about the type of coaching that you offer, or the type of services that you offer. I know that you have mentioned them, but I want us to focus specifically on the business side. I want us to focus more on the entrepreneurial side. If you could just tell us, how do you work with entrepreneurs? How do you train? What do you train on? Just so that somebody that does not know you knows from today on what are your services, especially towards entrepreneurs in South Africa.
Okay. Well, for entrepreneurs, once in a while, I kind of like do programs, solution leadership programs where I train them and I empower them in terms of how to build solution models for their entities, something that will help them to redefine their business models. So I once in a while do master classes to help with their, building their value proposition and helping them to drive solutions, because you need to understand that as an entrepreneur, you're not there as to provide just a service, but you're there to provide a solution, So I'm helping them to redefine their solutions, to redefine proper structures and systems, because that's where I come in with the lean methodology structure to say it's not just about doing business, but do you have proper structures? Do you have proper systems to ensure that when you deliver that solution, you deliver it cost efficiently, and there is an element of growth, because growth doesn't come by default, growth comes by design. So that's what I cover. So once in a while I would do that. So in the corporate space, I'm currently working closely with one of the corporate companies as a lean leader or lean manager for their market. So I offer various lean trainings and sessions that I do, and I travel extensively. Before COVID, I used to do heavy consulting work. Traveling back and forth, training at different levels in terms of corporate managers, leaders, and all of that. And just for now, I've settled a bit to really focus on this specific entity to help them in all their projects throughout the country. So I travel in different provinces, train leaders, managers to really understand the value of leading solutions, the value of systematically improving on a day-to-day basis to drive productivity and efficiency. So that's what I do in that space. So once in a while, I'll make a public session to say I'll want to help people. Yeah, and that's it.
Wow.
That's it.
I wanted to stop you there and say, please just give us a snippet in terms of, you said you're working with corporates, and what you do for corporates is you are the lean lead. What does that mean? Can you just give us, pockets of nuggets in terms of a little bit of information there? What exactly do you do?
All right. So you understand that any organization has people, organization has objectives to meet in terms of its business objectives, right? So within their value stream, in terms of the activities that they do so many things in order to deliver specific results to run their business. So what I do is I look into the entire value chain from source, make, and deliver. Source, make, and deliver. So within the entire value chain, I look into zooming into what they do and how they create value in their service. And mostly with our lean approach is basically looking at the whole value chain and identifying opportunities to improve, opportunities to identify activities that are value adding and activities that are non-value adding. Or they are necessary, but they're not value adding. And what I do is really set up systems to help organizations to identify activities that are value adding and activities that are non-value adding. And some activities that are non-value adding, some of them needs to be eliminated. Some of those activities needs to be reduced because those are the activities that are causing companies to lose money. Those are the activities that are causing companies not to progress to the next level. So with what we do is it's really to zoom in and do a serious analysis of the entire business in terms of how it's doing from its people, resources, tools, systems, in making sure that the whole value chain is done, it runs efficiently. So in a nutshell, based on the need or based on the gaps that have been identified within a specific business, one will deploy specific tools that the company would use in order to drive productivity, from knowing how to set up objectives short and long term, and knowing how to cascade those objectives to the lower level, and knowing how to set up process performance systems. Because let me say this, how many people, or in reality, many businesses that are struggling is that they have people, they have resources, but they don't know how to set up process performance systems to make sure that they drive productivity from top down, from top up. So from bottom up. So they're struggling with that structure on how to get the people focusing on their main goal. So one of the things that we do is to train people about how to understand the activities that they do at the lower level and how those activities that they do at the lower level are linked to the main KPIs of the business. So we call it the leading indicators. So the most important thing is to establish leading indicators that are key and critical in making sure that whatever it is that you're doing at the bottom has a direct impact on the overall business. So it's really, just to wrap up on this part, it's really systems that drive productivity. It's really systems that drive continuous improvement. It's really systems that drive problem solving. So if we have problems within the system, how do you solve them? If you have problems in your company, how do you solve them? If you have challenges in terms of cost, you're losing money every week, every month, how do you solve your money problems? And we provide those systems that will bring control. We provide those systems that will eliminate causes that are factors that are causing you to lose money. We would rally up and do projects, Kaizen projects, to put systems, to put structure so that you don't lose money, to put structure so that you become more productive. So it's really intensive things and multiple things that are done.
And I'm wondering, Coach, what has been your experience, especially with entrepreneurship in South Africa? Have you been able to look at it in that eye as well?
Yeah. So the challenge with entrepreneurs in holistically in South Africa is that a lot of entrepreneurs, and you can't blame them. I've been an entrepreneur myself, and I found myself in the same boat, because your focus is you want to make money, and you don't necessarily have time to sit and look at your the entire value chain of your business model and see how best to put proper structure, how best to put proper systems so that your business is sustained. And guess what? People are focusing on getting the job done, but they don't necessarily focusing on how the job is done. So there's a difference. When getting the job done is one thing and how the job is done is another. Getting the job done speaks to you doing something and then your customer pays you for that. But the how part speaks to your administrative systems, speaks to the processes that you have in place, speaks to the things that you do to get you to the next level. Now, on the how part of you delivering that job, this is the place where you would lose money. This is the place that you would lose attraction in terms of your process. This is the place where your business would become not robust and so forth. And that's why we have small businesses that come today, tomorrow they're no more. Why? Because their focus was just, I want to do this job, I want to do this job. Not realizing, Uguti, to run a business is not just about service delivery, but to run the business, it's about this vehicle that you need to establish, the system that you need to set, the structure that you need to set, because it doesn't make business sense to run a business and found out later that, you know what, you're not profitable, to find out down the line that your systems are not working efficiently, to find out down the line that you are running an entity but it's not profitable. And that is why most businesses fail, simply because they are not profitable and they cannot be sustained. And those are the elements that are being ignored when you start, because people are focusing on getting the job done. And with the lean approach, with what we are doing is to say, before you can be excited to put furniture in this house, let's make sure that we build the right foundation of this house. Let's make sure that the foundation is set properly. Let's make sure that we do proper inspection, proper systems to make sure that when this house stands, this house can stand generationally. Part of the reason why someone like myself is employed in big corporate spaces, it's simply on that, is to say, while the other project managers are focusing on the job, while other guys are focusing on admin, finance, procurement, and other things, there has to be someone who would look at everything, who would look at finance, who would look at procurement, who would look at everything and say, you know what, guys, yes, you are working very hard, but you are losing money here, you're losing attraction here. And if you don't fix this, you're going to be in trouble. If you don't fix this, your business will run down the line. So those are some of the things that are important and that are ignored in many spaces. So the future for entrepreneurs or any leader out there is to really bring that balance. And throughout the 4 weeks, we'll try our level best to bring outlines and nuggets to help leaders to understand how to build that balance, because that balance doesn't necessarily come by default. It comes by design. You know, it's something that you need to be trained. It's something that you need to go through. I mean, many of us, we have mastered the art of doing something, but we have not mastered the art of management. So you have mastered the art of getting something done, but you have not mastered the art of management. And it is in management where you have order. It is in management where you can become a good steward. You know, yeah. So, like now, as I conclude on this part, I mean, the Auditor General will always give out statements to say our municipalities, they're mismanaging funds, this and that. The problem is management. It's not delivery, it's management. How do we manage our resources? How do we manage what we have in order for us to accelerate to the next level? And this is what most entrepreneurs are struggling with, is management. How do you manage the little resources that you have? How do you manage with the system that you have? How do you manage? And management can only happen if there's a system. So what are you managing? Because you cannot manage without a system. So that is why a system must be designed, a structure must be established. When the structure in the system is established, then you can manage the structure. But the problem is that with so many leaders out there, we are running to or focusing more on, I want this money, I want this money, I want this much, I want to get this much done. But you have not put structure. you have not put systems. And because we have not put structure, we have not put systems, even these entities or businesses cannot operate without you. They're not autonomous. For the fact that you cannot stay away from this business and it runs, then you know that you have a problem. You have to be there for things to move. If you're not there, your business is no more. Then that's a problem. And when you look at most corporate companies today, is that their founders are no more, but their business is still running. Why? Because there is a structure. Why? There are systems. Systems are there to run the show. So we have a management problem, but this management problem takes us back to, do we have right systems? Do we have proper structures?
And my question is, Coach, should any and every entrepreneur have all these structures and systems, or are we only talking about certain entrepreneurs, people that are already, businesses that have already made it, businesses that are already out there, or Jabu buying, a face mask here to resell it, for R1 profit? Are you talking about every little entrepreneur, or are you talking about entrepreneurs that intend to become big companies in the future?
It's everyone, big or small, everyone. Remember, when you do something, when you do something, whether you're buying something from China and then you resell it, already you are now entering to a space that of business or whatever activity you're doing. In that space, if you don't have structure, if you don't have proper systems, guess what? You're going to do those activities for a year or two. From there, you're out of the game. Why? Because you never considered certain structures. You never considered certain systems. So everything that we see, Coach, is the result of a system. Everything that we see and experience is the result of a system. So someone designed a system behind the scene. And if you don't have a system designed, you're going to be all over the show, do everything. And guess what? Being all over the show and doing almost everything, that will come at the cost. That is why people don't understand that for you to run up and down, do A, B, and C, you'll be shocked to say, hey, this thing is not working. No, this thing is not working and you don't see profit in it because you don't have a system. But then you find someone who has a right system, right structure, and they've calculated to say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to focus on this, because if I focus on this, this will help me to become profitable. It's a system, it's designed. So when those people do exactly that, they become profitable. Whereas yourself, on a structure, you don't have order, you are just all over the show and you're saying you're an entrepreneur. No. So immediately when we talk about setting up an entity, we talk about structure. That is why any entity has a structure. There is no way that you can say you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to be everything. No, you are HR. No, you are finance. No, you are this. No, there's no way. So that is why there's a need for structures for finance. There's a need for structures for people. There's a need for structures for administration or procurement. And those structures are important, because it doesn't matter how hard you are working. If your finances are not coming right, sorry, you're out of the game. It doesn't matter how hard you are working. If your people are not up to speed to the right standard of excellence of delivering their job, sorry, you will be out of the game, because clients will complain and they'll not come back to you. So you'll understand that it's not just about delivering service, but it's about multiple entities that make up a system. Multiple entities that make up a functional system that is lean. And why lean? Lean means it's efficient. That's why we're saying lean. It's efficient, So that's what we're having a challenge, Coach. Yeah.
I hear you, Coach. I'm quite curious, I must say, and I would love for our listeners to actually send us questions, because I want us to talk to entrepreneurs, because I think there's a lot of work that we still need to do as people who know, people who are learned like you, Coach. There's a lot that we need to give back, and there's a lot that we need to teach our Black entrepreneurs. There's a lot that people still need. People think, I'm a small business, I don't need these things, I can't do these things, I don't have time for these things. But like you say, Coach, you're going to end up running around every time. When you get a little business here, you run around and you cannot actually see growth or even the opportunities for growth, because you're just waiting and waiting for somebody to call you. And if you had proper systems, they would even, tell you where the opportunities are, where you can actually grow, opportunities in terms of things that you can control as a business owner. If you put proper systems down and you are able to assess yourself, because I believe in this thing of saying you cannot achieve something that you cannot measure.
Yes.
So if you are able to come back and say, okay, this month I got 2 orders from the same supplier, how about, I want to grow. What do I need to do in terms of me then growing my business? If you have proper structures, you would actually look at where can you stretch yourself, in terms of your capabilities, your abilities, your qualifications, your networks. Your structure will show you this proper, these solutions that Coach is talking about and is bringing to us in the next 4 weeks. We would be able to guide you to say, this is where you can stretch yourself, within your control. This is where you can improve, within your controls. And this is what you can do in terms of you putting yourself out there, as a new business, as a growing business, as an evolving business, because you need to evolve as a human being. You need to evolve as a business. So I'm looking forward to our talks, Coach, for the next 4 weeks. I want you to just tell us then in terms of what to look forward to in the next 4 weeks. What should people prepare? I'm that person that wants to prepare myself ahead of the discussion. So I want, if you have those subtopics, things that you are going to talk about, I would want to go to Google and whatever search, and check what is the thing that Comfort is bringing, so that I can have proper questions, and I want our entrepreneurs to listen and send us your questions either through our Facebook page. You can contact me there, or on my personal Facebook page, which is Boitumelo Tlholakae, with Winnie Mandela picture, black and white picture. You can contact me on my cell numbers. I've sent my cell numbers, but I will repeat them again after the coach has spoken. I want our listeners to send questions, and I want them to actually go and Google these things and go and learn about these things. If there's a book that you can learn, you can go and read about lean, about solutions, coaching, about, change management, or whatever, entrepreneurship in South Africa. Bring those questions forth, and I'm sure Coach would love to engage you. And I know that at the end of the 4 weeks, we are going to have a live Zoom broadcast whereby we will invite people, including our listeners, to come on board and to talk to Coach and ask Coach questions and interact with you. So, Coach, anything that we should go and research before you come back?
Jeez. Okay. Talking about research. All right. Look, people can, I know some of you are a bit curious. What is this lean all about? So maybe that will be the first point of departure. So for people to go and learn a bit of what is lean, I'll explain a lot. You'll see, research, and then I know you'll find a lot of interesting things. But I'll bring it home properly when we have a session. Yeah. The plan, I think, around the next 4 weeks, I'll do a proper outline. But however, for me, what is critical is really helping leaders to understand on how to define a solution, on how to define a solution and and know how to take a solution to the next level, and also how to build systems for that specific solution. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to cover. So we're going to cover on the identification of a solution, or developing a solution, implementing a solution, building systems for that solution, and ensuring that you have proper management systems for that solution to thrive in all seasons. And I think for me, those are the key factors which I want to leave with you guys for the next 4 weeks. Something that you will take even after the 4 weeks, something that you will apply, and so forth. So I'll be teaching also from my book, Solution Leader for Men, and there's the Solution Leader for Women. So I have two versions, one for men and one for women. Someone would ask, why women and why men? Look, the reality is that, let's talk about women. The reality is that women are going through a lot of challenges in the corporate spaces, social spaces, and along the lines of leadership. And you will understand that with those unique challenges, there are specific matters which are specific to women, for them to help them overcome specific barriers, constraints that have been have been holding them back for years. So the book is just there to encourage them specifically, and to help them to apply themselves efficiently. So it's the same concept but divided into two. So looking forward to engage with you guys, and I know that we're gonna have an awesome time with Coach Boitumelo.
Thank you so much, Coach. I didn't even know about the books. Can you please bring the books?
I will. I'll share with
books with you next time, and let us know where we can get the books. That would be great to actually find out about the books. Honestly, it sounds like a really good thing to read. I would like to hear your advice to women and your advice to men. Is it business based or just generally solutions?
It's balanced. So social, and entrepreneurial and corporate. Yeah, it's balanced.
Wow, I look forward to that. Can you please bring that book, Coach? Let's talk about that book. We'll give you 10 minutes in the next. Next program next week. We'll give you 10 minutes so that you can just take us through the book and tell us where to find it, so that if one wants to get hold of that book, we know where to get hold of the book. But I'm excited that you even have a book. Oh my word. So is that the only two that you have?
Yeah, I'm working on other books. I have another one again, Kingdom Economics, which is out. So I'm working on other ones. So in fact, the 4-week session, it will be coming directly from the book. Yeah, so the content that comes from...
Which one?
So the 4-week session. So I'll cover the 4-week session, which will come directly from the book.
So what is in Kingdom Economics book?
So Kingdom Economics, it's just foundational, biblical foundation in terms of what kingdom economy is all about. So what's God's economy and what it represents. So we have a world's economic system and we have a kingdom economic system. So I'm focusing more on defining the kingdom economic system and how we as stewards, we need to apply ourselves within that space, because we need to understand that the kingdom is within us. And also we are the kingdom of God, and the economy is also within us. So the economy of God is also within us. So we need to know how to identify it, build proper infrastructure for it, and for us to unleash it efficiently.
Wow. I cannot wait to hear about it. So let's do it this way. So we're going to discuss 3 books in the last 3 weeks. All right. So next week, 10 minutes on each and every book. I really want to find out what's in these books.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach, for joining us and gracing us with your presence. We really appreciate it. And we know now what's coming in the next 4 weeks. In the next 3 weeks, we started with the introduction this week. So next week we get into one book, and then we do the rest of the show. the following week just like that until the final week will then be the end of June, which will be then a live show where I will actually invite our listeners to join in, and we can all talk and ask you questions, and you can workshop us on something. We're looking forward to growing. I really loved your session, and I had a lot of feedback from our listeners with the previous session that you had with Coach Oscar. And people are saying, oh my goodness, we need Coach Comfort to come back. We need him to just come and teach us. He sounded like a very grounded businessman. We want to learn from him. And I share the same sentiments, Coach. We're really looking forward to learn from you. So tell people then, Coach, where do they find you? How do they follow you? For the next 4 weeks, we want to be following you, and, where do people find you besides on our show?
All right. So I'm available on social media, Comfort Hlatshwayo. People can follow me through there or inbox me there as well. I'm still trying to get into Instagram space and Twitter space, but I'm working on a specific program, so I will launch into those spaces very soon, along with YouTube as well. But for now, Facebook will be perfect. They can follow me through there, Comfort Hlatshwayo on Facebook. Can inbox me, engage with me at that level. And if there's a need, obviously, I'll share my contacts as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you so much. And I just want to say in closing to South Africa, and I'm sorry if I didn't give you a chance, Coach, to give a motivational word. If you have one, you can now before I close. Motivation to the country, to societies out there, to the churches out there. We're going through a difficult time as a country, as a world. Economically, and families are challenged. If you have any positive word to leave our listeners with tonight.
All right. No, thank you, Coach. Well, I think a word of encouragement is to say, in the midst of all the challenges, in the midst of tough times, there's always a solution. And, when we go through difficult moments in life, we feel as if it's over. But I want to say to you, it's never over, because for every season, there's always a solution, and for every season, there's always provision. So within the season that you might be facing, there is a solution. Within the season that you are facing, there is provision for you. So seek into that solution, seek into that provision, tap into it, and move to the next level, because every season is there to build you up, not to destroy you. And I think we need to embrace it. And not fight it, but embrace the lesson, embrace the season, and learn, and then overcome it through prayer, through trusting in God, through involving yourself with right people, getting the right consultation, get right coach, get a mentor, get someone to talk to someone. I remember when I went through some form of depression myself economically, I had to talk to someone, I had to pray, I had to engage, find the right cycle of people in order to overcome the situations that I was facing at the time. So there's hope, and the hope is here. We're going to make it no matter what. Yeah.
It's like you were listening to what I was saying last week, Coach. I had a monologue last week, and I was asking people to really, really spend time either in the presence of God, praying about stuff, spend time writing down those things that you need to achieve as a person, put them somewhere where you can see them every time you pass, align yourself with the right people. Do not be afraid to ask questions and to ask for help.
Yeah.
I was talking about self-motivation and personal motivation, that the sources where you can actually get the motivation. Like you say, the economy is within us, the sponsorships that we're looking for the courage that we're looking for, it's within us, because when you read the word of God and you keep on, reading the Word of God, feeding your soul with the right things. And it could be reading something else that is going to also motivate you and uplift you. That is an investment, so that when you run low on motivation, you can dig within yourself and find that courage, find that motivation. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I am able. And the Bible says, I am more than a conqueror through Christ who strengthens me. Those kind of things, they come when you need them. You will be able to find that motivation within us. But thank you so much, Coach, for those words of wisdom. They are really good words, good words of courage, encouragement. And I just want to encourage, the listeners as well. We're still on the lockdown. We are on level 2 now, as from yesterday. And the president has urged most of us, all of us, to actually, continue to observe lockdown regulations, continue to sanitize, wear your masks, isolate if you know that you have tested positive, let other people know that you have tested positive, protect other people from yourself, and protect yourself and your families, your little ones, teach them how to take care of themselves. This COVID-19, we will also win it just like any other war. We will win it on our knees as we pray and ask God for guidance, for provision, for everything that we need. We will also win this battle as a country, as a nation, as the world, at our knees, on our knees, actually. So until we meet again next week, I just want to say to our listeners, I love you very much. Continue to observe the lockdown regulations, and happy Youth Month. We will be talking to youth. We will be talking to young entrepreneurs. We will be talking everything business in the next 4 weeks, and how to build you as a business person. So it is upon you to make an effort to join us, to bring your notes, to write, and to ask questions, the right questions, so that you get the right answers. We are here to build people that transform societies. And thank you so much to Fumani, our producer, to Mel, our designer of the posters that we use. Thank you so much, Mel, our graphics person. Thank you to the station management for giving us this opportunity to interact. God bless you until we meet next week.